Class professional fighter, Fast Eddie Chambers. Black Friday, everybody's favorite time of the year. But why are we gonna wait? We ain't waiting until Black Friday. I wanna give you guys the biggest opportunity that I have ever given to grab all 16 of my masterclass courses for over 90% off. I've sold these courses previously for $300 a pop, and now you can grab all 16 for less than the price of one. I want you guys to head over to CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. And if you want to grab one course at a time, you can also grab those courses for only $47. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this sale is not going to last. So what I'm going to need you to do is go to the website and grab it now, because as soon as I raise the prices, not only am I going to raise the prices, I'm going to charge more than I've ever charged, because the value inside of these courses are second to none. Oh, and how can I forget? Every single person who grabs the Master Boxing Bundle is going to get enrolled to the CA Boxing University, which is a private community where you can upload your sparring, ask questions 24/7, show your heavy bag work, basically share your journey with a bunch of like-minded people. This is a no-brainer, guys. So you guys already know what to do. CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Box now. What's going on, guys? Your boy Coach Anthony, and of course, none other than world-class professional fighter, Fast Eddie Chambers. Black Friday, everybody's favorite time of the year. But why are we gonna wait? We ain't waiting until Black Friday. I want to give you guys the biggest opportunity that I have ever given to grab all 16 of my masterclass courses for over 90% off. I've sold these courses previously for $300 a pop, and now you can grab all 16 for less than the price of one. I want you guys to head over to CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, and if you want to grab one course at a time, you can also grab those courses for only $47. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this sale is not going to last. So what I'm going to need you to do is go to the website and grab it now, because as soon as I raise the prices, not only am I going to raise the prices, I'm going to charge more than I've ever charged, because the value inside of these courses are second to none. Oh, and how can I forget? Every single person who grabs the Master Boxing Bundle is going to get enrolled to the CA Boxing University, which is a private community where you can upload your sparring, ask questions 24/7, show your heavy bag work, basically share your journey with a bunch of like-minded people. This is a no-brainer, guys. So you guys already know what to do. CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Box now.
Yo, what up? How's everybody doing? No days off, November, day before Thanksgiving. I know tonight is, I think, the biggest party night of the year for a lot of people. So I don't know how many people they usually show up to these channels went out tonight. So I decided to go a little bit earlier, just in case some of y'all are going out tonight. Plus tomorrow is a big day for a lot of people who celebrate. So I just wanted to get on here and hang out with you guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's that, man. Always got to plug in the courses, man. You already know Black Friday is 48 hours away. I should probably change this right here. You know what I'm saying? It is 48 hours away, which means we are 48 hours, not even, less than 48. We are less than 48 hours away from my Black Friday sale ending. Ending is the word I'm looking for. Ending. I have given this sale basically all month, or at least 3/4 of the month. And it's about to be over. It's about to be over. I'm about to raise the prices. And in the very near future, I'm going to be raising the prices substantially and changing the way I run my course business. Okay. It's going to be a totally different format. So for those of you guys who take advantage of the Black Friday sale, you guys will be getting grandfathered in to something that will never be this cheap again, never be seen like this again, never presented like this again. It was my way of saying thank you to everybody who supported me for all these years. You know what I'm saying? But now it's time to really charge the true value of the courses. Those who have the courses already know what's in there, already know how much teaching is in there. There's so much teaching in there that you can't go through it and like, people might get, oh yeah, I'm going to watch this course. No. You're going to watch 16 courses, and you probably won't get around to all of them at the time frame that you thought, but you got the information for when you are ready for that stuff. Today, I want to talk a little bit about fear. Before I get into Q&As, I sent Eddie the link. Eddie will be here probably in 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. I'm not in a rush tonight. I got on this live stream a little bit early. Okay, I got a cup of coffee right here. That's coffee, all right? And we just going to chop it up, and we're going to talk about fear, the fear of getting hit, because this is a question that I get all the time, something that I have a lot of experience with as a coach, helping guys through this. People learn how to get over the fear of getting hit at different stages of their life, different stages of their career, different stages of their journey. But it's not something that ever fully goes away. So, there's a few things that I think I narrowed it down, you know what I'm saying, on why I believe that people, deal with the fear of getting hit. And it's really a traumatic thing, something that really prevents a lot of people from going far in boxing or even reaching another level in boxing. You know what I mean? Some people make it to a certain level and then they plateau. And the reason that they plateau is because they have the fear of getting hit. You know what I mean? But before I get into that, man, I just want to go in here and say what up to a few people. Yo, Nick, those are some tight fight night matches last night. Stay blessed, man. Yo, I had fun last night on fight night. I haven't been able to play today, but when I get on, it's going to be after this live stream. So I'm going to get on this. I'm going to get on fight night late night. I'm a late night fight night guy. So after this, I'll probably kick back, lay back, play some fight night. So if you guys want to watch me play fight night, it'll be on Twitch. My man Enzo, hello. What is bob and weave? Okay, well, I'm gonna get into the Q&A stuff in a minute. But a real simple thing, bobbing and weaving is right here. It's right here, right? This is slipping. This is bobbing and weaving. Basically rolling under. That's bobbing and weaving, okay? But let me go ahead and get right into the reason that I started this stream, because I think some of you guys may benefit from this, okay? So what is one of the reasons that I think people deal with fear when it comes to getting hit? And I think it's overthinking and overestimating the impact of the punch, right? You're overestimating it. You're anticipating that the shot's gonna hurt more than is actually gonna hurt. And that could be for a number of reasons, right? Maybe you've seen the guy that you're fighting or sparring and you've seen him hurt other people, or maybe you just never been in a fight before and you don't know what the punches feel like. So you have this worry, this fear. I think Mike Tyson knocked out a lot of his opponents because people, not that they overestimated him, but they were already scared to get hit before the fight even started. So therefore, as soon as they got touched with anything, they went to the ground. Okay, so I think overestimating and overthinking the punches before they actually land is one of the main reasons that people deal with the fear of getting hit. And the easy fix for that, is partner drills and sparring, right? Partner drills and sparring. So when you get comfortable with somebody throwing shots and you get comfortable with them hitting your arms and you get comfortable with seeing them and feeling the shots, a lot of the drills that we do are not just to work on the defensive technique, but it's so your body can get used to and acclimated to feeling the punches. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't feel the shots and you don't know what the shots feel like, you don't know what you're really willing to absorb. And of course, the real indicator, the real answer is going to be sparring. And sparring is really where you're going to develop how to deal with the punches. You see what I'm saying? Before we get into sparring, we have to work on these partner drills. If you just jump into a boxing ring, and obviously I'm talking to people who's never sparred before, if you just jump in there without the partner drills, you're going to be nervous. You're not going to know how to deal with that. And if you're going into a fight and you haven't had the proper sparring, you're gonna go into that fight very, very nervous. You know what I'm saying? Because you haven't gotten enough, enough rounds under your belt sparring to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So partner drills, very, very important. Sparring, very, very important. A lot of people who get my courses, they ask me questions like that. They'll say stuff to me along the lines of, hey, coach, I don't have anybody to train with. Can your courses get me prepared for a fight? And it's like, you can't get prepared. I don't give a shit if I moved in your house. If you don't have somebody to spar, how are you going to get prepared for a fight? You see what I'm saying? Like, you need boxing's a two-person sport. It's a two-person sport. You need two to tango in boxing. Now, can you learn the techniques, the shadow boxing, the skill set? You can learn most of it by yourself. However, there are certain elements that you're going to need a partner. You're going to need somebody to help you develop, or else you're only going to know one half of the game, and that's the throw punches and the footwork and stuff like that. But actually understanding defense and being able to actually apply the defense is definitely going to take a partner. It's definitely going to take somebody who's going to be able to help you. Now, can you work on defense by yourself? Yes. You can slip. You can roll, after you're done punching, when you're shadow boxing and hitting the bag. You can use visualization techniques. But how do you visualize if you've never been through something? You understand what I'm saying? You can't visualize sparring or fighting if you've never actually sparred or fought before. So at some point of your journey, you're going to need partner drills and you're going to need another person. So some of you guys in here might be way past this particular part of this particular live stream. However, even you guys who have experience, you need the right sparring. You need the right sparring because every level is going to have that new guy who pumps fear. Okay, every level. I mean, how many of you guys I've seen out there who be like, oh, so-and-so is scared of so-and-so, right? You hear that all the time. So-and-so is scared of so-and-so, man. He don't want to fight him. When Mayweather didn't want to fight Pacquiao for whatever, oh, Mayweather's scared of Pacquiao, man. So that goes to show you right there. Every level has a new devil, right? Every level has that new guy. So even if you are at a certain level, you still need the adequate sparring for the next level. If I got you sparring all beginners and then we're going to move you into an advanced situation, you need advanced sparring to get ready for that advanced situation, which is a fight against somebody who's better. So this never ends. This is a never-ending cycle. You know what I'm saying? So we have to make sure that we have the right sparring. So you need somebody who's going to help you in that department. You need a trained teacher, a trained coach, a professional who knows how to move sparring along. There's too many coaches out there who just throw you in there with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Then you go in there and you get hit, you get hurt, and then now you're really scared and you quit. And we want to avoid that at all costs. So this is where coaches need mentoring, because there's some coaches out there who need just as much mentoring as the fighters, because they're coaching with another man's blood. You see what I'm saying? They're coaching with another man's blood and they're brave with another man's blood. You know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden, yeah, man, my guy will spar him. And then their guy gets hurt. And then they're like, man, that's all right, man. That's what's going to toughen you up. No. That's what's going to ruin a guy. Let's look at a guy like Errol Spence Jr. who got beat the hell up by Terrence Crawford. Most people are ruling him out for the rematch. Most people, like, they're saying to themselves, I don't think he's going to be able to beat this guy in a rematch. Why? Part of us really feel like he got ruined in that fight. So imagine if you spar and you get your ass beat to that level. You know what I'm saying? Do you really think that you're going to be excited about showing up the next day? Even though I showed up the next day. Funny story. But see, I lost my fear of getting hit on the street. And that's a whole nother story. You see what I'm saying? So some boxers who are in this game and they're trained boxers, they may have to go through it at certain levels. And then, of course, if you come from a street environment and you go into a boxing ring, you might already have accomplished some of those fear tactics. But even you, at some point, are going to be dealing with a guy who's just as tough as you, just as rough as you, from the same background as you, and that guy could punch, and that guy could box, and you got to readjust your mind frame for that. So I know I touched on this particular topic for a long time, but it's just everything that came to my head. I wanted to make sure I explained it, you know what I mean, to my full capacity. I'm gonna go right into the chat real quick and just take a quick glimpse of what y'all talking about. Okay, all right, so let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so right into it, man. Real simple. It flows right into the next tip. Lack of defensive skills. Okay. So when you have defensive skills, okay, you have a certain amount. Your confidence to getting hit goes way up because now you know how to deal with the punches. If you know how to deal with the punches coming back at you, you're a little bit more confident than a guy who just has courage, but then you don't know how to deal with the onslaught. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you an example. We used to have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at my gym that I owned. All right, a lot of you guys who don't know, I owned the gym for many years, and we had MMA in the gym, and we had a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program. So me, I've never been interested in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at all. It's just not my twist, not my style, not what I really do. However, one day I decided to try it out. Of course, very first day, these guys are all rolling, right? So they're like, all right, they partnered me up with this guy who was actually a business owner right next to me. He had been doing jiu-jitsu for years. And he was a bigger guy, like 6'4", very muscular. And, he was like a blue belt or something like that. So, he had obviously experience. This is really my first time ever rolling. I didn't even know how to do anything, honestly. The coach said, don't worry, we're just going to roll light and we're going to come across and I'm going to give you guys instruction. Me being a fighter at heart, I'm like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So when he puts me into some, positions, pause, right? I didn't know what to do. So since I didn't know what to do, I started to like it was like I got really tired. I guess the anxiety got to me, but I got more gassed out rolling than I ever did in my recollection boxing. And the reason was I didn't know how to defend anything he was trying to do. And it kind of like put me in a weird, funny place, right? So I say that to say, had I had defense and understood how to defend some of the submissions that he was trying to put me in, pause, I would have not been so gassed so quick, I believe, because I would have been calm. I'd have been calmer. You see what I'm trying to say? I'd have been calmer. I kind of would understand what to do. So in boxing, it's the same thing. I remember I used to get tired when I was sparring in one round every freaking time, like 1-2 rounds max, and I'd be gassed out. I'm ready to get the hell out the ring. And I start going into a mini panic because I was gassed out, but it was because I didn't know how to defend as well as I did over the years of learning defense. Now, as an older man, right, I know that I haven't boxed that often. I'm probably nowhere near in the competitive boxing shape than I was when I was panicking in 2 rounds, but I know I can give a better showing of myself, at least defensively, because I know how to defend punches. So I would be calmer in a situation than I would have been years ago. And that's because I understand defense. I understand how to block punches, slip punches, give targets and take them away. I know how to smother. I know how to tie a guy up. I know how to do a lot of things that will somewhat keep me safer, I should say, right? So defense is crucial for learning to get over the fear of getting hit, or the real reason you're right. The name of the thing, the title of the video is the reason you are scared to get hit. The reason you are scared to get hit is because you don't know how to defend. You see what I'm saying? It's because you don't know how to defend. Had you known how to defend something, the fear isn't there. There's people who are fearful to do what I'm doing right now. Get on camera, right? Talk to a bunch of people that they've never met before, strangers, right? Public speaking, I think, is on the top of the totem pole for biggest fears for many people. I'm not scared of this shit. Why? Because I do it all the fucking time. So I've learned how to talk in front of people who I don't know. And this is all grooming me up for one day when I'm on a stage and I'm talking to 100,000 people one day. I'll go back to this video and be like, y'all remember I said that into existence, that I would go into a stage and talk to 100,000 people one day, and I would be calm and I would be able to get my point across confidently. Why? Because I do this all the time. Somebody else might be like, you see what I'm trying to say? So you have to learn defense. What's the fix? You have to learn real defensive skills from a real coach. Okay. And let me tell you something. Defense is not something that you just want to learn from any fucking body. Okay. It's not one of those skills. You don't just want to go ahead and pay Joe Schmo down the street who got a boxing freaking book and he wants to teach you defense and he's never implemented it himself or has proven through his athletes that our guys know how to defend. You really have to understand defense, man. Defense is crucial. So my recommendation to you is to make sure that if you're not going to invest in my courses like Defensive Principles 101, which basically breaks down defense, which I got it for the best price ever, right? If you're not going to do that, then you better go and find a legitimate coach in your area and pay him. Because if you don't pay somebody, you know what I'm saying, you're going to regret it later on. And you find somebody to do it for free that knows what they're doing, give them some money any damn way, because they're teaching you a skill that's going to stick with you for the rest of your damn life. It's a true investment. You see what I'm saying? So don't be cheap. Go out there, learn defense, and then tell whoever's teaching it to you. And when you really see that it's real and you're learning it, man, I'm telling you right now, it's one of the best things you could possibly learn, because it's going to carry you. It's going to carry you. It's going to give you a different confidence. And when you have good defense, you can see the openings in the offense better, because now you're not so blinded by what he might do. You're more so like, I ain't worried about what he's going to do because I know how to defend it. I know how to defend a jab across a hook and uppercut. I know how to step back, circle out, step back, drop, step in, smother. I know how to turn a guy. I know how to do these things. Okay, so defense is key. Defense is key, okay? Another thing why I think people are scared to get hit. Lack of offensive skills. Man, y'all should have known that was coming, right? Y'all should have known lack of offensive skills. Now, why would I say lack of offensive skills if we're talking about a guy hitting us? Because you know damn well you're doubting yourself and doubting what you could do to that guy. If you have poor technique, if you don't understand how to place punches, sit down on punches, if you don't have good combinations, if you don't have good speed, if you don't have good power, of course you're going to be scared of what the other guy can do, because you don't believe you can hold them off with your offense. You see what I'm trying to say? Offense can be defense. When you have a good offense, people have to defend your offense, which in turn makes them defensive, which in turn is defense for you. So you have to have a good offense, right? So what's the fix? Okay, we got to focus on form and technique. A lot of you guys out there just throwing punches. We got to focus on form and technique. And then, of course, after we throw our punches, we have to have our basic defensive responsibilities after we punch, right? What are the rules in boxing that we've been talking about for people who's been following me a long time? You move your hands, you move your head, you move your feet. You move your hands, you move your head, you move your feet, right? So I move my hands, which is throwing punches. I move my head, which is my defensive responsibility. And then I move my feet by getting to another spot because I don't want to be in the same spot after I'm done throwing my punches. If I'm in the same spot, I'm easy to find. Imagine throwing punches, moving your head, making a guy miss, and then being right there and getting hit at the end. Wouldn't that be foolish? Like, damn, I did everything, man. I forgot the last part of the three-piece puzzle. You see what I'm saying? So move your hands, move your head, move your feet. Okay, you have to have your basic defensive responsibility. So your defense is already built in. You see what I'm saying? You also have to know how to counterpunch. Okay? So you set a trap, you counterpunch. How to set traps and counterpunch. One of my courses, another shameless plug, right? But you have to know this. How do you learn it? You learn it from a professional, somebody who's done it, professional fighter, a professional coach, okay? People who actually do this. You go to the guy who just thinks he knows and he's never, ever, ever done this, really? Go ahead, be my guest. Let me know how that works out for you. I'll be more than glad to sit back and see the results. You see what I'm saying? But you have to learn these skills, okay? Another reason. I mean, this goes without saying, but lack of footwork. This kind of goes into the defense, but it can also be the offense. When you got good footwork, good balance, okay, when you got good footwork, good balance, you're so much more confident because you know you can utilize your footwork to get in the range, get out of range. So now it's both, right? It's for your offense and it's for your defense, right? So you have to have good footwork. Now, what's the fix? You got to have some footwork drills. You got to know what to do. And you got to utilize it in shadow boxing. This is why shadow boxing in a boxing ring is fantastic, okay? Because, or if you're an MMA fighter, shadow boxing in a cage. Okay, if you're a street fighter, shadow boxing on the street, right? I mean, I'm not teaching boxing for the streets, but for those out there, people out there who just want boxing as their main form of defense, shadow boxing in an open area that's going to allow you to utilize footwork. Okay, utilize all the space that you have to work with. I'm going to give you an example of a street situation that I was in. And I don't really like talking about my past and nothing like that, but I got to explain this one. So one night I was hanging out with my fiance and a couple of her friends, and we were in Florida. And we were going to a pizzeria. And as we were walking to the pizzeria, I was speaking loudly. And when I spoke something, I said something that was a little out of character. I'm not really going to get into what I said. But I said something that was a little out of character. And there was a gentleman, I should say, right? I'm going to call him a gentleman. He overheard what I said. And he didn't appreciate what I said, right? So when he did that, he just started grilling me, like giving me dirty, dirty look. Now, mind you, I'm already headed into the pizzeria. So I'm not going to change my route but I already knew, okay, that this was about to go down. I already knew. So I'm taking off my watch. I hand it to my fiance. She's like, oh, God, here we go, right? She already knew it was about to go down. I already knew it was about to go down. But he didn't know that I knew. He thought that I missed it. And this is where peripheral vision you know what I'm saying, is very important, because as I said what I said, he grilled me, I peeped it, I knew it was game time. So now I hand over the watch. Hold on, I got my man Fast Eddie. Yo, I sent you the link, Eddie.
Oh shit.
What happened?
Give me about 20 minutes. I gotta finish up.
Just do your thing. Do your thing, man. I'm good. Just pull up if you could.
Yeah, I'll pull up right ass. I didn't know you ain't coming in.
No, I'm not going over there. I'm chilling here tonight.
Okay, cool. I'll pull up.
All right.
All right.
All right. So where was I? Okay. So I hand off the watch, right? I hand off the watch. I already knew that I violated. The dude was a little bit not happy with what I said. It was too late. Too late to say sorry. He had his blinders on. I peeped it. I was like, okay. The importance of understanding what you're working with. When I walked into the pizzeria, I start looking at how much space I have to operate. I swear to God, God forgive me for swearing, but I swear to God, I strike me dead if I'm lying about this story. It's a true story. So I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I got enough space to move. I already knew that, but I was still going in the pizzeria. I probably shouldn't have went in there. It was probably dumb, but I was like, you know what? My ego got in the way. I said, I'm going in the pizzeria. I'm getting my pizza, but at the same time, I knew that it was going to go down. So I walk in the pizzeria. Sure enough, as soon as I walked in, I seen what I had to work with. I turn around. It was no lie. The dude was standing right in front of me. And this dude was like this, way taller than me. Way taller than me. Physically fit looking guy. And he said, yo, and when he went like that, I just dropped and threw an overhand right. Boom. The rest was history after that. Okay. But the reason I say that I even brought that story up is I understood that I needed room to operate just in case. Now, in this situation, I didn't need all the space that I was looking at. I actually used a lot less of the space than but had I needed it, I understood, okay, the pizza's behind the glass over here. There's a table here. I got enough space to circle over here if I need to. I'm contemplating this in like 3.5 seconds, yo. I swear, yo, it's crazy. Shows you what years of experience can do for you. Okay, and it also shows where boxing can be effective on the street. Okay, it's like a situation that could have went real bad for me real quick. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, my whole point is, and the reason I'm bringing up a street fight is because I said something about the street. Again, I don't like talking about street fights, though I've been in many of them and plenty of them. But that was just one situation. Okay, so you have to have good footwork because you have to be able to retreat if you have to. In war, when you are weak, retreat. Okay? If we were in war, right now and we were outgunned, would it be wise for us to stay there and shoot shots back at the guys who are, you know what I'm saying? Or would it be wise for us to retreat, hide, take cover, and come out at a later time when it's safer to go ahead and do whatever we have to do? Boxing is no different. You have to know when to use your footwork, when to use your defense, when to use your offense. And when you have a true understanding of this, this will bring down the element of fear. Side note, fear never fully goes away. Fear never fully goes away. It's all about controlling the fear and knowing what to do in times of drastic measures. Okay. Next, okay, is lack of discipline or being out of shape. Okay. So I think I touched on this in 2 different points. So I'm going to make sure that I skip to that point too. You're probably scared Because you know your ass is out of shape. You know you ain't been putting in the work. You know that you ain't been training hard. You know that the guy that you're fighting has. See what I'm saying? Of course you're gonna be scared. Let me tell you something right now. I can sit right here and talk tough all you want, all I want. You tell me tomorrow I gotta fight, I don't know, who's somebody who's a killer right now? Jerron Ennis or Canelo or Terrence Crawford or one of these heavyweights, Usyk, right? I know I'm in for a bad day because these guys are training hard and I ain't training nowhere near as hard as these guys. It don't matter how much courage I got. It's going to be a bad day for me. Bad day in the office for old Coach Anthony. Why? Because I ain't in shape, right? Not to add that these guys are the top of the division, right? And they're freaking the masters of the craft. However, that's not the point. Being disciplined and being in shape brings a different form of confidence, okay? When you are disciplined and you're in shape and you're doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, that fear element's going to drop. Another point that I made that I'm going to get right into is cutting corners, right? So let's think about this for a second. If I'm your coach and I say, yo, I want you to run tonight, and you're like, all right, coach, I got you. You don't run. Yo, I need you to go hit the bag for 8 rounds, but I got to go work with this fighter in the ring on the mid. So on the bag, I want you to do this, this, and this. All right, coach, I got you. And then when you go to the bag, you're like this, right? Yo, I'm leaving for 2 weeks. I got Raymond Ford. We're going to go out to camp and then finish camp somewhere. And then we got fight week. I'll be back in 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks, I need you eating right, training right. I need you to, you know what I mean, do all the workouts. I got you, coach. Then you don't do it. Then fight week. And then your fight comes up. Or when I get back, yo, bro, I got some sparring lined up for you. You've been working, right? Yeah, I've been working. I bet. I got so-and-so coming down to spar. And all of a sudden, it's like, shit. I ain't been putting in that work. I've been cutting corners. I'm about to get my ass whooped today. Guess what that feels like? That's called fear, knowing that you fucked up. So cutting corners is something you definitely don't want to do. Being lack of discipline in the fight game or in life, period, but definitely for boxing, because you got motherfuckers trying to knock your ass out, something you definitely don't want to do. So this is what's going to raise fear. Okay, now you're working hard, eating right, sleeping early, training, sparring, doing everything I'm asking you to do, plus maybe some, right? All of a sudden, confidence skyrockets. All of a sudden, you're like, yeah, I'm ready, coach. Who you got? Who you got? Go ahead, man. Set them over. Who you got? See what I'm saying? Everything changes because you know you've been putting in work. All right? A lot of this shit comes down to how much work did you put in? You see what I'm saying? How much work did, even on the streets, all these gangsters out here who act gangster and all that, it all comes down to how much work did you put in, right? On the streets, they'll say, I put in work. The street work's a little different than boxing work, right? It's a little different. But when you put in that kind of work, you got a different kind of confidence. Because you're like, yeah, now, confidence that can get your ass locked up and killed. But at the same time, you have a different confidence when you're in that environment. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been putting in work. So now when you're around some dudes who ain't putting no work, you're like, what? Bro, who are you? You ain't never done nothing before. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? So this is the same thing. It goes back to once you understand something, you master everything. It goes back to that. Once you understand discipline for any area in life, it just flows into any area. It's crazy how important discipline and not cutting corners is. You see what I'm saying? When you do what you're supposed to do, whether you want to or not, is when your confidence is going to stack up. The reason why give you an example. A lot of guys are unconfident to take their shirt off. I know I ain't taking my shirt off right here. Why? Because my diet ain't been on point. I've been cutting corners there. See what I'm saying? But when you've been eating good, you've been working out hard, damn, you got your shirt off for no reason. Everywhere you go, your shirt's off. Damn, dog, put your shirt on. Nah, why? Why I gotta put my shirt on? See what I'm saying? Because you confident as hell. You've been doing what the hell you're supposed to do. Your confidence is making other people insecure because they don't put in the work. So it all comes down to the same ideologies, the same things that happen in one area. You could just basically, all the people out there who have issues with boxing, who were scared to get hit, just think of an area that you were super confident in and then say to yourself, why am I confident in this area? And you're probably going to figure out a few things. You've been putting in work for many years. You know you're good at it because you got experience. You had some good people teach you, or you had enough trial and error that you've learned it through the hard way. And now you're confident. It's the same thing for boxing, okay? Which also leads to another thing that people have to stop doing, and that's negative self-talk. Negative self-talk, man. There's some guys out there, man, that they're good. I know a guy right now. Super talented. Always says he's not, though. Man, I'm not that good. I know another guy who lost a bunch of weight that's super thin right now. Oh, man, I'm still fat. I'm fat. And it's like, huh? It's like, no matter what these guys do, they never fully feel confident. So there's always some doubt. Now, it's good to have some negative self-talk because negative self-talk will make you work your ass off. You see what I'm saying? So I think that there's a balance with negative self-talk and positive self-talk. There's a balance because if you're too negative, you beat yourself up. If you're too positive, right, which is the fix for the negative self-talk, if you're too positive, now you might let your foot off the gas a little bit. So it's like what I talked about yesterday. It's like putting a dish in the oven, right? And you put it on 350. 15 minutes. If you leave it in for 20 minutes, you burnt it. If you took it out at 10 minutes, it's not cooked yet, right? It's the same thing with the negative self-talk and the positive self-talk. You have to have some of it to keep you in check, but you have to have some of the positive. Yo, I know I'm putting in work. You know what I'm saying? You ever see them dudes, they be lifting weights, they be going hard, they be like, come on, boy, you got this, man. Yeah, we killers, we animals, we do it. That's positive self-talk, even though it might sound negative to the naked eye, right? It might sound negative to somebody who doesn't speak so aggressively, but it's positive talk. Ain't nobody out there saying, yeah, man, we're pussies. Yeah, man, we're bitches, man. That shit, you know what I'm saying? So you want to be more positive, but use whatever language works for you, whatever language helps you. But it has to be positive. And it's the same thing for boxing. You can't be out there just like, yeah, man, I'm not good, man. You got to be like, yo, I know I could fight. If he come down, if he run down on me, he got himself a fight. I've been putting in work. I'm in shape. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He can try whatever he want. I'm ready for that. That's positive self-talk. That's not arrogance. That's confidence. See what I'm saying? So the positive talk is very important. And also the people around you need to be positive. Why do you think Floyd Mayweather hired all these motherfuckers to meet him at the gym at 3 a.m. to go work out and freaking cheer him on? Literally, he hired people to cheer him on. Okay? That was their role, whether they knew it or not. You're here at 3 a.m. to make me feel like the champ. Is Floyd not one of the GOATs? Okay, so it just goes to show you that your circle, your surroundings, everything has to give you some sort of positive energy for you to reach your highest potential. But at the same time, a little negativity is good. It's the balance. It's the yin and the yang. You feel me? You need a little bit of that because it keeps you in check. It keeps you humble. It keeps you hungry. And it keeps you knowing that there's always somebody out there that can beat you. However, you're not worried about that person. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, you're soft because of your upbringing and your environment. Now, this is a major one. This is one that's probably the hardest one to fix. For you guys out there that grew up and never had no adversity, for the guys who, you know, had the platinum spoon in their mouth, you know what I'm saying? The guys who never had to fight before and weren't around that kind of stuff their whole life, and now you want to fight because you think it's cool. And but when you get in there, you realize how real this shit is, and you start bitching up. That guy, whoever that is listening to this right now, that's you, whatever. Maybe you grew up and, you know, life was just real easy for you, but you always were intrigued with boxing. But now you get in there and you're like, God dang, this is crazy, right? That is going to be very difficult to overcome, because you got to think most of your life has been a certain way, and now you're being forced to try to make it another way. So that's going to be the hardest thing to do. So what would be my answer? What is the fix for a guy like that, a soft guy who came up with life being easy, and now all of a sudden you want to, because a lot of these soft dudes act hard, but then when they actually get in front of a real motherfucker, it all changes, right? And they're like, oh shit. you know what I mean? Because they haven't been exposed to it. So now it's like, yeah, all that tough talk. Man, how many times have you seen a guy say, yeah, man, that was me. Like, let him try that shit with me. Okay, then all of a sudden you see them a year later get into that same altercation that they said they would handle in such a certain way. It doesn't happen that way. You see what I'm saying? Why didn't it happen the way you said it would? Because when it's actually in front of you, it's a totally different reaction, right? So what's my fix for people like that? My fix is to get around real men, real fighters, so you can learn the personality traits, right? Now, it's still going to take time. It still can take time, because I personally think you can learn those skills. Okay, they're usually learned. Now, don't get me wrong. There's always people that are just tougher, more hardcore, more willing to go there naturally. Right? You got some people, bro. I mean, think about the cartel, them dudes. Think about these people who just be like, there's some killers out there, bro. You can't even explain it. You're just like, damn, that's a cold-blooded motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? I can't teach you how to be that. However, you can learn certain skills that I wouldn't even know if they're called skills. You can learn certain personality traits by being around certain kind of people. Example, if you acting real goofy around some real, they're going to be like, yo, man, cut that shit out, man. Cut it out. Stop. No. If you still want to be around that group, you're going to stop. Then when you're acting a certain way in training, if you're trying to work out and you're bitching and you're around a certain group and they go, yo, stop bitching, man. Stop it, man. Stop. And you want to still partake and be part of that group, eventually you're going to stop bitching. You're going to learn how to behave. It might take you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of being around certain kinds of people, but eventually you're going to adapt and learn the personality traits. Okay, this is why environment is so important for fighters. You take a fighter and you put them in the right environment, they grow, they prosper, because now they understand, oh, that's how this fighter deals with the punches when he gets caught. Or that's how you beat that motherfucker who always whoops my ass in sparring. When you see another fighter in the gym beat the guy who was beating you. I got it now. I figured it out. Thank you for that. I needed that jewel. You see what I'm saying? So being around certain kind of people are going to teach you certain things. Why do you think when people go to jail, they come home different? Because when they go to jail, they learn certain skills that you have to for survival. It's called survival skills, right? So these survival skills can be taught. They can be learned. For some, you can learn it quicker. For others, it takes longer. However, they can be learned, but you still got to go through it. You still got to go through it, which goes into another point, which is lack of experience. You need experience. You have to go through it. 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 I don't give a shit what anybody says. You have to go through it. You learn the skills, you apply. When you learn the skills, you apply. You learn the skills, you apply. You go watch all of the courses. I got the best deal on the internet right now. 16 courses for $297. It breaks down to $18 a course. You can learn all the skills. Me, Fast Eddie Chambers. It is a ridiculously cheap price. It's going to be gone in less than 48 hours. I highly suggest you take it. However, if you just watch the videos and do nothing, it does nothing for you. You can't email me in a year and say, Coach, man, I watched all your videos and I'm still ass. But I never left the house and I never trained and I never did anything. And I never got into a gym and I never got around the right people and I never got into an environment. I never did nothing. I just kind of just bought the courses and then it just sat there and I'm pissed because I'm not better. See what I'm saying? It makes no sense. You have to apply. You have to have experience. This is why when you have two fighters fight, they always want to know what's the experience of each fighter. In the amateurs, nobody gives a shit about records. Nobody gives a shit about records. For all my amateurs out there, you guys can attest to this. If I get an amateur, I don't ask him what's his record. I say, how many fights do you have? How many fights you got? You never ask an amateur, what's your record? Nobody gives a shit what the record is. Why? Because amateurs is about experience. That's what the amateurs is for. You get a kid, how many fights you got? 15 fights. Okay, that's a kid with 15 fight experience. I got 150 fights. Whoa. 150 fight experience. He might have lost 149 fights. We don't know. But we know he got 150 fight experience, which means he's going to be a difficult motherfucker because he's been through 150 different fighting situations that we know he had to figure out how to get through. So that doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like experience is something that, you know, you can only earn that shit. You can only earn experience, but you need the right tools. You need the right tools. Okay, and that's something I can't stress to you enough. You can be experienced, but with the wrong tools, you were just an experienced fighter, an experienced average fighter at best. And there's a lot of those because they don't got the right tools because they were never taught. They have to learn on their own, right? But if they had good teachers from the beginning and they were groomed up from the beginning the right way and they did everything that I said in this chat, which was stay disciplined, stay consistent, you know what I'm saying, get the right sparring, you know, do the right things, those be the top of the food chain. Those be the top of the food chain fighters. But the ones who, you know, just learned boxing from anybody and just kind of just went on the whim and yeah, they had the heart for it, so they just fought. Those be the guys, you know what I mean, with 10 losses, 20 fights, 10 losses, whatever. They're experienced, they're tough, they're willing to throw down, but they also lack in certain areas, which is the skill set department. So this is where everything that needs to get put together is like the perfect dish needs the perfect ingredients. You need every ingredient. This is why I tell people when they ask me about the Philly show, I say, yo, don't identify yourself as a Philly show fighter. Don't identify yourself as a peekaboo fighter. Don't ask me how to fight like this fighter or fight like that fighter. Learn the fundamentals and develop. Whatever fighter you turn into, that's who you'll be. Before Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson, there was nobody out there asking how to fight like those guys. But now everybody who's young wants to fight like, you know, those guys. With the exception of Shakur, after this past performance, everybody's hating on him, right? But I can't tell you how many people have actually called me up and said, not called me, DM me on Instagram and said, hey, man, do you have any courses that teaches the Shakur style? I'm like, courses that teaches the Shakur style? I don't teach the Shakur style. I teach the art and science of boxing. Shakur implements it his way, the way he likes to implement it. He didn't learn the Shakur style. he is Shakur, so therefore he's going to fight like his personality trait, the skill sets that he was given, you know what I'm saying, through his own experience and what's worked for him up until this point. You know what I'm saying? So again, experience is very important when it comes to the fear of getting hit and why you might be scared of getting hit. I know I kind of like went outside of the topic, but it's still the same topic because we have to think when you have experience, you're less scared to get hit because you've been hit before. You understand what I'm saying? You've been hit before. So now you kind of have a different kind of confidence. You're kind of like, you know what? I know how to deal with this. I know how to deal with this. Okay, cool. And then you learn how to like ride with punches and deal with the anxiety and you know, you've been hit before and you know what different punches feel like. Oh, he don't hit as hard as the last guy I boxed. Okay, cool. I know I can deal with this shit. You see what I'm saying? So these are all the things that you learn over the years. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, and fear is good as long as you control it. You know what I'm saying? If you control your fear, it's good. You know what I mean? Because you need a little bit of fear. Because fear lets you know that you're human. Fear lets you know that you care. All fear means is that you care. I care about my life. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to die. You know what I'm saying? I want to stay alive. That is fear. Okay, when you're fearful and you act on fear, it can save your life. Okay? So you need fear. You just have to control it, because if you get so fearful that you shut down completely in a tough situation, then you're not going to be able to react because you are going to be so fearful. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to be able to control the fear. And the only way to do that is through some of the tools I gave you today. Some of the experience that you're going to gain over the years. You know what I'm saying? So these are all the things that you're going to need. You know what I'm saying? And the last point that I'm going to talk on, I can't believe 57 minutes went this quick. This has been a quick 57 minutes for me. But I hope that you guys are getting value from this. If you guys are getting value, man, please, press the like button. Share this with somebody who you think this might help. Please let me know in the comment too if this is providing value. I need to know if this kind of content is actually helping. You know what I mean? Now, the last thing I want to say is something that I heard the other day, and it was actually really dope. And I said, I'm stealing that. You know what I'm saying? And it's that fear says, what if? Faith says, even if, right? And once you've been training, this becomes a spiritual thing. Boxing is spiritual. Fighting is spiritual. Okay? This is not just the physical. The mind, the body, and the spirit connect as one. And this becomes a spiritual thing. And if you have faith in yourself, fear says, what if? Faith says, even if. So what if I get hit? I'm scared. What if he hits me? What if he hits me? Or you can say, well, even if he hits me, it's all good. See what I'm saying? It's all right. Even if he catches me a couple times, I'm good. I'm prepared to work. See how that changes the whole dynamic of the same situation, which goes into positive self-talk, believing in yourself. But you're not going to get there without doing the shit that you're supposed to do every single day. The shit that you're supposed to do every single day is what's going to get you there. So we have to remain disciplined. We have to remain students. We have to learn the best possible skills that we could possibly learn. Okay, we need to have a good team. We need to have a support system. Okay, one of the main reasons why I started the CA Boxing University, which is the private community, is for people who like internet training and want to connect with others who are going to be positive. You need people who are going to be positive around you and that are on the same mission that you're on, so you can have people around you that motivate you to go forward. Okay, you need to have a circle of real men, real people. people who are going to actually take the time to educate you and teach you and guide you, aka coaches, okay, aka older fighters or more experienced fighters. These are the type of people who have the experience that can give you some gems. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can go ahead and ask a guy like Fast Eddie Chambers when he's here. Yo, Eddie, how did you handle when you were fighting 6'6" Demetrenko, man? I know that shit had to be nerve-wracking. Eddie, how did you handle getting knocked out by Klitschko like that and coming back your very next fight and looking sharp? How did you handle that? You see what I'm saying? Certain questions you can ask, and then he can tell you. You know what I'm saying? And then when he tells you, you're like, okay, so that's how you deal with that situation. That's how you deal with that situation. Yo, Coach Anthony, how did you handle working with a fighter that was super nervous before his first fight and somehow you were able to get his courage up to win the fight? See what I'm saying? These are different questions you can ask experienced people. Okay, so this is why it's important to get into an ecosystem of people who are actually doing this, who actually done this. Okay, and this is why I've been opening up the doors for the whole month. So as many people who can jump on board can actually jump on board, be part of the community, grab the courses, be into my ecosystem. This is something that I'm going to be doing privately for all my people in my community. So therefore, when you need somebody to talk to, you can talk to me. When you need somebody to talk to, you can talk to Eddie. You know what I'm saying? Or any other of the pro fighters that I have that I might be able to bring on and say, yo, man, chop it up with John real quick, man. Let him know how you dealt with this, how you dealt with that, or this is how you should deal with this. This is what happens when you get into a group of people who are actually doing this and opening the doors. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I got for you guys on the topic of fear for right now. I'm going to take a short break and I'm going to call Eddie and see if Eddie is still going to get on this live stream. Give me 1 second and then we'll do some Q&A.
What's going on, guys? Your boy, Coach Anthony, and of course, none other than world-class professional fighter, Fast Eddie Chambers. Black Friday, everybody's favorite time of the year. But why are we going to wait? We ain't waiting until Black Friday. I want to give you guys the biggest opportunity that I have ever given to grab all 16 of my masterclass courses for over 90% off. I've sold these courses previously for $300 a pop, and now you can grab all 16 for less than the price of one. I want you guys to head over to CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, and if you want to grab one course at a time, you can also grab those courses for only $47. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this sale is not going to last. So what I'm going to need you to do is go to the website and grab it now, because as soon as I raise the prices, not only am I going to raise the prices, I'm going to charge more than I've ever charged, because the value inside of these courses are second to none. Oh, and how can I forget? Every single person who grabs the Master Boxing Bundle is going to get enrolled to the CA Boxing University, which is a private community where you can upload your sparring, ask questions 24/7, show your heavy bag work, basically share your journey with a bunch of like-minded people. This is a no-brainer, guys. So you guys already know what to do. CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Boxing up.
All right. I'm still here, y'all. Some of y'all ran out of here. I told y'all that I was going to stick around. Big shout out to everybody who caught value from this. People who are saying this is very valuable. This is great value, Coach. I appreciate that. Jay, very valuable. Thank you. I dig it, Coach. Hit the like. Glad you ain't leaving yet. All right, that's what I'm talking about, man. You know what I mean? The goal right here is to really a lot of y'all laughing. I don't know what I said because I wasn't looking at the comments. I was trying to stay focused because if I look at the comments, I'll get thrown off. You know what I'm saying? For real great knowledge, life lessons here, real talk. Get him on a live. We want to ask. Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm going to get Eddie on a live right now. He said he'll be on in about 5 to 10 minutes. So, yeah, man. We could chop it up for a few minutes, do a little Q&A, then I'm going to bring Eddie in here. If you guys have any questions about anything that I spoke about tonight, please feel free to ask it. We vibing. I got on here a little earlier because man, sometimes I be getting on here at freaking 11, 11:15, 11:30. I'm like, damn, man, I got on this live stream late as hell, man. I'm bugging. But let's see. Thanks for sharing your experience. You're dropping gems. Yeah, no problem, man. You know, I have a lot of stories, man. I got a lot of stories over the years. I was actually thinking about my life the other day when I was in the gym. And I said, damn, you know, a lot of people don't know my life as a whole. People know me as a teacher, as a coach, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm a person who brings more than just coaching experience to the table. And I think that's the reason why a lot of these pro fighters resonate with me, because they know that when they're dealing with me, I'm well-rounded. You know what I'm saying? I'm well-rounded in life. You know what I mean? I've been in the streets. I've done street stuff. I boxed myself before. I've owned businesses. I've managed employees. I mean, I've done a little bit of everything. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of these things that I've done in my life is, you know, it's very similar to boxing, even though it's not boxing. Like I said, once you master something, you understand everything. Is one of the truest quotes I ever heard, because it's like, I can take a situation from boxing and bring it to my business. I can take a situation from boxing and equate it to a street situation. I can take a street situation and bring it to boxing. Boxing life. Boxing life, y'all. Listen, boxing life. Boxing life, boxing life, man. I've been hashtagging this for years. I stopped selling the shirts. Should I bring the shirts back? I do got some shirts. Should I bring the shirts back, man? Yo, coach, what you think about this Janny Beck? This guy good or not? I don't even know who you're talking about, so I can't even answer. Is he fighting this weekend? How's Billy Briscoe's these days? Man, I haven't spoke to Billy in about a month, but Billy, strong friend of mine. He's been a mentor to me over the years. Another fantastic teacher. A lot of respect for Billy. Billy knows that. And some of those one-liners that I've spit out, I've gotten from Billy, man. Billy is the king of the one-liners. Like, he got some, like, he can get on here and just start spitting. You be like, what you say? Hold on. Say that again? You got your pen and paper out like, I'm going to use that one. What's next? Yo, Billy, say some more shit. You know what I mean? So, big shout out to Billy Briscoe, man. A lot of love for Billy, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to call him. I'm going to give him a phone call, man. What do you think about meditation to deal with fear? You know, I've seen a lot of people say they use meditation. I've never used traditional meditation. I think I've meditated in my own thoughts, probably by default, but I can't really remember using actual meditation myself. I really don't even know, like, what it would feel like to be in a meditation state. The closest thing I probably got in meditation is running. You know, when you're running and you're like on mile 2, and you start to get that, like, you're just in a different place because you just been running for and you just been, that's all you're thinking about is the run. And then you start thinking about, you know what I'm saying, the training, the fighting and all that stuff. That is probably the closest thing I can say I've ever gotten to meditation. But I believe that meditation, yes, if you know how to meditate and it works for you, I think whatever you got to do to deal with the fear, if it works for you, do it. It's like asking somebody who's a vegan compared to eating like keto, right? Like, it's like, bro, if vegan works for you, stay on vegan. Don't change your diet. It works for you. That's what you can stick to. So it's one of those situations. Now, the middleweight one who ducked Andrade to fight Benavidez. Yeah, I don't know who that is, man. I really don't. Oh, I'm on your Twitch stream. Guys, if you don't follow me on Twitch, you guys can follow me on Twitch. Coach Anthony. The Anthony is a 0. I don't know how many of you guys like Twitch, I use Twitch for fight night, but I've been using it for these live streams as well. So for my people out there who play video games, I'm not a big video game player, but I'm a fight night player. I will play fight night. Haven't played yet today, but I will get on there later and do my thing. So yeah, man, I definitely wanna, if you guys want to follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitch. Yesterday I had like 15 people in my Twitch stream, which is a lot for me. And I didn't even know who half the people was. So maybe some of the people from here are starting to come over to Twitch. But I'll be getting down on that fight night. Anybody want to mess with me on that fight night? Y'all know what time it is, man. Last night was dope. So you enjoyed watching me play. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Okay, this is a good point that you make right here. It's not the fear of getting hit. It's the fear of getting humiliated in front of people. And trust me, I totally understand that. Totally understand it. However, this is where we have to get out of that. This is where we have to get out of that. We can't play that game. You know, this is something that I learned to bring into different areas of my life. So I'm going to give you some more game that you could run with, right? Like, all right, I'll give you an example. I don't know how old you are, Ghetto, right? But whatever. For all my older people out there who are, you know, whatever, you know, let's just say you make a lot of money one day. All right. Let's just say you make a couple $1 million. And now you got some money. Most people, when they get a little bit of money, who are usually from, 30 years old, 40 years old, right away, they want to show off how much money they made, right? So what do? They get expensive things and they get things, and then they take a lot of pictures and a lot of videos and show off their materials, right? I mean, we've seen it all over the gram, right? It's a very common thing. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. If you like nice things, cool, get it. However, when you start playing that game too strongly and it becomes more about impressing others and not just about your own personal desires of just, I like this. You're getting it because you want the girl to think you're cool. You're getting it because you want your boys to think you're getting money. Guess what? Now you become a slave to other people's opinions, right? And we don't want to be a slave to other people's opinions. So it's the same thing with boxing. When you get into a boxing ring, it shouldn't be about what the next person thinks about you. It's supposed to be about you. Okay, I'm in here to win this fight. Whether I win or lose, I came to win. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't about humiliation, because half the motherfuckers outside the ring ain't gonna get in that shit anyway. So I don't give a shit about anybody else got to say. So yes, you can have nice things. Yeah, you can have supporters, but they don't make or break you. I want to tell you about a story about one of my friends. His name is Julius Jackson. His father was Julian Jackson. His son is Julius Jackson. His father was the Hawk. His son is the Chef. Now, I used to box with a fighter by the name of Sammy Rogers in West Palm Beach, Florida. He was a stablemate of mine when I was an amateur. We both fought in the amateurs together. Sammy turned out to be a professional fighter. Julius Jackson's his cousin. They all trained together in the Virgin Islands. Okay. Now, I watched Julius Jackson. I forgot who he was fighting, but he got knocked out. Right. So he gets knocked out cold. I'm watching it on TV. I'm rooting for him. He gets knocked out. He goes over to the interviewer and he's smiling, big cheesy smile. He says his piece. He says, good fight. He leaves. I shoot him a DM immediately. Yo, bro, I got to say, hats off to you, man. You know what I'm saying? I really like how you handled losing. He replies to me and says, boxing is something what I do, but boxing is something that I do, but it doesn't define me as a man. And when he said that to me, I said, damn, that's fucking real. Boxing is something that he does, but it doesn't define him. How real is that? Too many times it's like me being a coach, Coach Anthony. I fucking put everything into Coach Anthony. But Coach Anthony alone does not define who I am. I have a daughter. I have a fiance. I have a family. I have integrity. Okay. And my goal in life is to be a better man every single day. Boxing is just one thing that I do. I could bring 4 or 5 fighters out, train them, and they all could lose. That's not the plan. But if they all lost, does that make me less of a person? No. All it does is say, we were in competition, man. Welcome to competition. You win some, you lose some. Okay? I've been in 9 world title fights. We're going on 10. And I think my record in world title fights as a coach is 6-3. 6-3. I'm 6-3 as a coach in world title fights. Tevin Farmer lost his last fight against Jojo Diaz. Hank Lundy lost to Terrence Crawford. And Eric Hunter lost to Lee Selby. Those are my 3 losses as a coach. Lee Selby beat Eric Hunter. Terrence Crawford beat Hank Lundy. And what was the last one? Oh, Tevin Farmer lost to Jojo Diaz. Okay? But we got wins too. How about all the fights that we won? Those don't count. So it's like, that's how life goes, man. That's how life goes. Since when is Coach Anthony such a spiritual guy, man? There's a lot you don't know about Coach Anthony, man. But listen, like I said earlier, boxing is spiritual. Life is spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It's all spiritual. It's all part of life, man. Life is spiritual, man. It ain't just about our physical being. You know what I mean? Coach, I do believe you are what you do, don't you? Coach, I do believe you are what you do, don't you? Can you repeat that and elaborate a little bit more for me? Not quite sure what you mean by that, Finesse. I'm trying to get Eddie in here, man. Eddie is moving a little too slow for my liking. He said 20 minutes, 40 minutes ago. What you do defines you. What you do defines you. What you don't do defines you. It all defines you. What you do defines you, and what you don't do defines you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what you do, but there's many things that you do, and there's many different categories of your life. You know what I mean? So therefore, if you put all your eggs into boxing and put too much pressure on yourself, meaning that if you're so scared to be humiliated by somebody, let me bring somebody in who can actually elaborate a little bit more. Eddie.
Yo.
I've been on here for 1 hour and 18 minutes. All right. So,
damn, man. I guess you was waiting on me. My bad.
It's all good. So listen, I want to talk about fear. I already gave a bunch of tips on fear. Okay, so a lot of people got a chance to hear my opinion on it.
Okay.
Now I want to hear your opinion from a professional fighter who's fought guys who are so much bigger than you and so much more threatening in the regards of you can get knocked out with one punch, and you've even been knocked out before. Mm-hmm. Things that you actually had to go through. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, however, it's part of your journey, and I think it's something in a sense that in a weird way you can be proud of, because a lot of motherfuckers are scared to fucking get knocked out. You see what I'm trying to say? A lot of motherfuckers are too scared to even test themselves to that limit. So,
Right.
Regardless of that, what are your tactics on dealing with fear? And what do you think would help a young fighter who is dealing with fear? Somebody mentioned something along the lines of the fear of being humiliated in front of people. Other people have mentioned other reasons that they're nervous. What's your advice coming from a pro fighter?
Honestly, every time, can you hear me good, Ant?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Every single time I've gotten in the ring, be it sparring. Now, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, you'll get into a situation that there's no threat or whatever. But I'm talking about everything. Every time I got in the ring with something on the line, I was nervous. I mean, you can say scared, but it was more obviously nervousness. And the way to combat nervousness and fear and worry is to know that you've put the work in and not have a shadow of a doubt that you're not capable of being, one of the best at what you do, even if you're still new coming up. You know what I mean? You are capable of being obviously a really, really good fighter. And the fact that you've trained, you've put the effort in, you put the time in. And I know it's going to say, most guys will say, well, there's no reason to think you should be worried or should be in fear of anything because you put the work in. You know what you've done, what lies behind you. You know how much effort it took to get to the point that you are. Like I said, for me, I was nervous as hell. I would be a wreck, but most people didn't know it. You know what I mean? Every time I got in the ring, I was like, man, and especially because I'm fighting these giants. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting guys that were, not necessarily twice my size, but a good bit bigger than me, let's just say. And it's a hell of a thing to have to deal with that. But I knew that I was capable. I've done it in the past. I knew that I knew what I brought to the table. You understand what I'm saying? So as long as you put the work in, as long as you put the time in, and you got people around you that really believe in you, fear is just another obstacle to overcome. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't, if you weren't fearful of a situation, then you might not be human. You might not be considered human. You understand what I'm saying? So fear is an obstacle you got to get past. I know it's like, well, how do I get over it? It's not about getting over it. It's about understanding it. It's about honing it, using it, aiming it. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm driving, ladies and gentlemen.
You obviously have no fear of driving.
That's right.
Nice. Isn't that funny though? Because there are people who drive scared.
Right. That's another. Hey, listen.
You, based off your experiences, has given you the confidence to place a cell phone on the dashboard and hold a live stream conversation.
I'm gonna say this, and
my whole point being is it's only because you've done it so many times. Remember when you went jet skiing? When you and Billy went jet skiing with me?
Yeah, yo.
And how
I got pissed. I got pissed off that dude, that young boy that was flying.
You and Billy were frightened. Y'all both were jet skiing, but y'all was scared compared to me. And the reason I wasn't scared is because I've done it before. You were kind of like, this is my first time doing this shit. So that goes to show you experience. It helps. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt, experience helps. Knowing, like I said, knowing what you're capable of, having done it many times before, knowing that you can win, knowing that you can be successful, even with losses. Sometimes you gotta, just getting in there. It takes a special person to get in there, take a loss, and then want to get back in. I'm telling you, that's a hell of a thing to have to deal with. Losing builds character sometimes more than winning does. I'm telling you, because trying to understand how there was something beneficial that happened where you lost, or something positive can come from a loss. Most people can't stand losing at all, let alone, you know what I mean, trying to take something good from the shit. So, that's another thing. But yeah, man, it's just experience, and honestly, it's being able to trust yourself too. It's being able to trust that. I think that is really what the definition of that is. It's being able to trust yourself in a situation and not feel that, that you're not capable. You're not that guy. You're not able to control the situation. You have to believe in yourself and trust yourself in order to get through fear, deal with fear. And the thing is, what made me do it in my boxing career, what gave me that confidence was knowing that I can get in there with anybody. I mean, anybody. And I can make sure I was not going to come out of there with a toe tag on. You know what I'm saying? Basically, or out cold. I knew that I can defend. I can keep my hands up. I can move my head. I can do what it takes to make me feel safe in there. And then once I realized I'm not going to say, at first I thought it was that these guys were bad. I was like, these guys are you just that good. You're just that good. You can beat these guys. Stop acting like you can. And that's something I had to tell myself. You know what I mean? I was always that guy who was like, a little bit low level of confidence, not really believing that I could. And I had to realize that I'm better than I thought I was. You know what I mean? I would get in the ring with some of the highest level guys and be like, damn, I thought he was going to be good. I thought he was going to punch hard. You know what I'm saying? And then I started going in camps with guys. I started getting in there with high level, championship level dudes and was handling the work. And I'm like, damn, I thought these guys were this, that, and the third. And it just shocked me. And I just said, damn, maybe I'm just good enough, to be here. And I think once you do that, once you see that, that will give you supreme confidence. Trust me.
Yep, we got tuning in from Australia, UK, born boxing fan right here. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you, man. Big shout out to Australia. Got a lot of Australian fans, man. That's what I noticed. A lot of people from Australia have actually bought the courses. Pretty strong Australian fan base. So big shout out to everybody from Australia, especially the people who's invested into the courses. We highly appreciate it. Eddie, we're only 48 hours away from ending the biggest sales event that I've ever done. Black Friday is this Friday, and that's going to be it. And what I've been trying to tell people, for those people who are watching this maybe not live, because I've been saying it throughout the live all night, but the people who are watching this late, what we're doing right here, live streams like this, we're still going to go live on YouTube, but this is something I want to keep more in-house, different things, different topics, workout routines, nutrition advice, things that we're going to be doing for our team, for the people who's invested into the program, something I want to keep more in-house. So opportunity for you guys to get grandfathered in. You got 48 hours or less to do it, depending on when you're watching this, and then the price is going up. So I hope you guys take advantage. Eddie, man, can you elaborate a little bit on just the courses and everything that we've done and how this can help them?
And look, it's been a lot of work putting these courses out. There's a lot of effort that gets put into these courses, a lot of knowledge. If you don't take advantage of this, you're really selling yourself short. You know what I mean? I know I'm supposed to say that I'm an ambassador. No. If I had this kind of stuff when I was coming up, believe me, I would have been using it. You know what I mean? I had my dad, I had trainers, I had all of these things. But if I would have had something like this to kind of bounce ideas off of a guy like this, like Coach Ant, they've been all over and train with champions, train champions. You know what I mean? It's you got to take advantage of it. Then you got me, who's been at the top level and has a really good understanding of how to teach as well. So you're getting so much.
And not only do you have not only is it about the teaching, it's the access, right? Like,
yeah, and forever.
Like, not only that though, Eddie, like think about something like this, right? Like you play basketball. What would you be willing to pay like an NBA player or ex-top NBA player and a coach in the NBA that would be willing to get on a live stream with you, talk to you, give you ideas, plays, ways to approach the basketball court?
There are no expense.
You could just shoot them a message like, yo, coach, man, I got to get on the chat with you real quick. And they'd be actually willing to do it. What do you think an NBA player or coach would even charge for that?
Bruh, let me tell you something. You wouldn't be able to get that unless you was a player. unless you're an NBA player and a high level NBA player too, by the way. So if to get the access that you got here for this price is ridiculous, bro. If you don't take advantage of it, if I had a chance to get an NBA level trainer or coach, even just a skills trainer, bruh, I would pay that $297 for a lifetime. Man, you must be crazy. I had to pay that shit yesterday. I would have let a couple things slide, like bills, if I had to. I'm not bullshit. I would have let a couple bills slide.
It's crazy because when people hear NBA or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It sounds so much more prestigious to the naked eye, but it's like, bro, there's really no difference, like, from that and a world caliber boxer. Like, they're both world-class athletes. It's just two different sports and two different brackets of money because of the politics. But those guys,
is the thing about boxing.
Those guys come to our sport to watch us fucking perform. You know what I mean? And they DM me to learn how to do what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen, let me tell you something. With boxing, the difference with boxing is it's just us, me and you. We ain't got a whole bunch of motherfuckers around. It's just us, and it's a one-on-one sport. So the info you're getting is, look, I mean, there's different styles of playing basketball. You could be just a catch and shoot guy. You could be just straight up defender or whatever. If you want, or you trying to develop certain skills, whatever. You got all these different. With boxing, it's just me and you. And the thing is, if I could get access to a fucking NBA coach, it's going to take me through with the man. I'll tell you, I spare no expense, bro. I'm telling you, I was, especially if it was $297. Like, come on, bro. I'm dropping that. I'm dropping that shit immediately, and I wouldn't even hesitate. So there can't be any complaints that this stuff is not affordable, because it's really just out there. You know what I mean? And this is some of the highest level quality shit you'll ever get. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you gotta do it. You gotta do it for yourself.
Yeah, so yeah, guys, we touched on this long enough, man. Been on here for an hour and a half. Eddie got a lot of experience dealing with fear. Any other things you want to touch on fear before we get up out of here? That was the main topic of this particular live stream. I mean, I think you gave a lot of good game early, but I mean, I don't know if you got anything else you want to give the people.
And there's another form of fear too. It's like the fear of success. You know what I mean? Don't hold yourself back from being better just because you think that you might not be able to do it, or you got somebody maybe in your ear telling you not to do it or whatever. You know what I mean? Don't let people, or you don't even let yourself, put too much fear or doubt in your mind that you can't be what you want to be, or that you're not going to be able to make it. And taking the chance, it's like Ant, like what he's doing. You know what I mean? If he had too much doubt or too much, or didn't have people believing in him, he might not be who he is today. Same with me. You know what I mean? There's going to be people that's going to talk, but just don't let it get any traction with you. You know what I mean? It's just air, going by your head. You know what I mean? Don't even listen to it. Keep working. Try to get to be the best version of yourself, especially within boxing, obviously, if that's what you're trying to pursue. Don't let these detractors tell you that you can't make it or you can't do it. Just keep moving forward.
All right, guys. On that note, man, keep moving forward, man. I want to say thank you to everybody pulled up tonight. Really, really positive, really powerful stream. If you guys are just catching this, you might want to go ahead and rewind this. We're going to keep it up. No Days Off November continues. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And so tomorrow, I have to figure out when I'm going to get on here. So the best thing for you guys to do is to just hit that bell notification. If you don't have my number, of course, you should always have my number on deck, just because when I go ahead and I decide to go live, you guys can go ahead and join the stream, man. So make sure you guys pull up. 215-709-5437. I thought I had it on here. I must have took it off when I when I went ahead and put all my other quotes that I was talking about for the live stream. For guys, man, most of you guys already know my number, man. If not, that's it, man. But hit the bell notification tomorrow. I don't know what time I'm gonna get on here, Eddie. I might get on here early. I might get on here real late tomorrow. So tomorrow might be a super late night. But no days off November means we go live on Thanksgiving as well, man. It is what it is. So
Yes,
I want to say thank you to everybody, man, and peace.
Sir.
What's going on, guys? Your boy Coach Anthony, and of course, none other than world-class professional fighter, Fast Eddie Chambers. Black Friday, everybody's favorite time of the year. But why are we gonna wait? We ain't waiting until Black Friday. I want to give you guys the biggest opportunity that I have ever given to grab all 16 of my masterclass courses for over 90% off. I've sold these courses previously for $300 a pop, and now you can grab all 16 for less than the price of one. I want you guys to head over to CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, and if you want to grab one course at a time, you can also grab those courses for only $47. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, this sale is not gonna last. So what I'm gonna need you to do is go to the website and grab it now, because as soon as I raise the prices, not only am I gonna raise the prices, I'm gonna charge more than I've ever charged, because the value inside of these courses are second to none. Oh, and how can I forget? Every single person who grabs the Master Boxing Bundle is gonna get enrolled to the CA Boxing University, which is a private community where you can upload your sparring, ask questions 24/7, show your heavy bag work, basically share your journey with a bunch of like-minded people. This is a no-brainer, guys. So you guys already know what to do. CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Boxing up.